You're watching Best in Business with Manny Lopez, where passion becomes success.
Hey guys, welcome. This is a special episode for the From Orphan to CEO students. I've got Trey Sean here. He's a superstar out of London. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he does. If we can fit it in one episode, that's going to be the exciting thing. This kid's a #1 best-selling author, the youngest ambassador of the STEM program at Brussels. I mean, this kid has got massive things he's doing. He's hosting workshops. He's speaking in front of expos. He's got like 15,000 people. I mean, this is a kid taking action day in, day out. And he's going to share with us some of these strategies of how he is doing it. So Trey, Sean, welcome to the show. Excited to have you here, brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, man. Now, I like that little sneaky thing you did. Now, most people didn't know what he did right there. He muted himself while I did the intro. Very rarely do I see people do that. So kudos to that. I did notice that. So, hey, tell us a little bit more about what you do. Tell us about the books you're writing. Tell us about the speaking you're doing. The world wants to know.
Definitely, yeah. So I am an author of 13 books, and there's a couple more that are coming actually.
13 books already published. Jeez, this kid is on a roll. I have one book where I'm published in, and I'm only a co-author in the book. So this kid is just on fire, man. Keep going.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's books on maths, there's ones on self-development, trading, property. There's a whole wide range, and I'm just really passionate about sharing my message with the world and teaching people how to sculpt what they have inside of them to simply reach their goals and desires in life.
Wow. So this is exciting stuff, man. So you've written 13 books. What got you to even start writing the first one? I mean, you're 15 years old. When did you write your first one?
So I wrote my first one when I was 7, and I co-authored it with my older sister, and she was 11 at the time.
Wow. Now you got a whole family of entrepreneurs. I've had conversations with your mom, and she's like, yeah, you want to meet my son and my daughter? I mean, they all got business. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, where do you guys get this mindset of having this entrepreneurship, this idea of just building your own dreams at such a young age?
So my mom, she took us to personal development events at a young age. So there wasn't any barriers that we had to break past, because as you're a kid, you just simply soak it all up. And especially for those of you who don't know, between the ages of 7 to around 11, that's when everyone's just like a sponge. You just soak up all the information that you're exposed to. So it was just a very it was perfect timing, because we were able to soak it in without any limiting beliefs of, oh, I'm not sure whether this is going to work and things like that. So we just really picked up information, and sometimes we dropped the ones that we wouldn't think was most useful at that state in time. But yeah, it was a really, really fun journey.
Interesting. So I look at it as, kind of your environment, right? What are you surrounding yourself with on a day-to-day basis? And this is the same thing I did for my sons. I have 2 boys, myself, and a daughter. She's 5, so she's barely starting to get into that. And that's about that age when I started to bringing them to my events, right? I would go to expos, I'd go to seminars. I mean, I'm a sponge for knowledge myself, man. That's the thing for me. And I would then take my kids with me because, one, I wanted a free carpool. I'm like, yo, man, I need to drive all the way to LA. I need to have a carpool or I'm sitting in traffic, and I need to give my wife a break from having all these kids, right? I mean, she's putting in work there. So I was like, this is going to be a good win-win, and, a trifecta win, because now my son gets to learn from somebody who's actually successful and see that it's possible. And I think that's a big thing that we can take away just from this small segment that we had so far is look to bring your kids, bring your children, bring the younger generation into environments where they can see that it's possible to build their own dream. How many times have we surrounded our kids and the people we want to influence, we see where they're getting their information from. They're getting it from TV, they're getting it from the radio, they're getting it from YouTube and Snapchat, where 90+% of that information is just bogus. It's false. It's not going to actually help them benefit what they're trying to do. But you go to these business seminars, these leadership conferences, and you've got these millionaires and billionaires on stage telling you It is possible. Yeah, this is all you got to do. Here's how I did it. I mean, they make it seem so simple. A question I have for you, though, and this is something I get all the time because people ask me, Manny, how do you have your kids here sitting here all day? I mean, this is a 10-hour seminar, and they're sitting there like wanting to learn, where I can't even get my kids to sit down for 5 minutes. So how do you get these kids to sit down and actually want to learn from these people that are teaching the strategies and success of life?
I think that obviously there's going to be some times where they just do not want to sit down, and everyone has to face that really.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we try to attend interactive events where there might be ice-breaking exercises, for example, maybe like massage your partner next to you and things like that, so that there's play incorporated into learning. And I think that one of the amazing tools that many speakers have been able to include in the way that they deliver their content is by having, for example, competitions, many things that just keep the audience on their feet and just awake, really. Yeah.
So keep it interactive at your events, right? You want the kids to be able to show up and stay engaged. Make sure they're actually engaged. That's actually a really good test at events to see if your events are really boring, because most adults, you know, they won't until, I mean, I find this all the time. I host events. I've had hundreds of speakers at my events. And what I find is at the event, everybody tells you did great. Everybody tells you this was the most amazing thing ever. Man, they would love to come back. So the event producer walks out of the event thinking, man, so great. I'm so awesome, right? And then I actually do the data. I'll go follow up after the event and I'll send everyone a text and I'll say, hey, give me your real feedback from the event. What could we change about it? I want to dig out the bad stuff. And I'll get the bad stuff. I'll be like, oh, we were, it was too long for this part. And, this speaker was boring and da-da-da. So it always came back to engagement. They're like, yo, I was getting bored. There wasn't enough networking time or something sense. So I kept adjusting my events till now it's like 90% networking, right? So looking at that concept, I think that could be a really good test for you at your events. Bring the kids in. If they are engaged enough to stay engaged and have fun at your event, you might have a good process there. So, and if not, you're maybe just a little bit too boring. Keep more engaging in there. So let's get to some of the strategies. I mean, you've got 13 books already out. You're a #1 international bestseller. Tell me some of the topics of these books and give me like maybe one strategy out of a couple of them. Obviously, I don't think we'll have enough to cover all of them, but I mean, I'm pretty sure there's at least a couple of nuggets. And let's speak to my From Orphan to CEO students. So these are my day one entrepreneurs. They're just now starting to build their own dream. They now see it's possible. They keep seeing all these superstars, Les Brown, Caleb Maddox, the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, saying, yo, it's possible. This is all you got to do. What would you tell to these kids from the stuff that you've already been putting out?
So firstly, what I would say is that leaders originate for others to imitate. So if you want to be an expert in your own industry, you need to come up with something unique. Now, I'm not saying come up with something drastic and something that's really far-fetched. All I'm saying is maybe even having that catchy name, something that has an imprint on your customers, so that maybe they might hear a certain intro and they know that it's going to be you. It's just something as a way for them to look forward to, maybe even uploading every week, just something that keeps it unique, catchy, and simple.
Unique, catchy, simple. And I saw another one in there, consistency, that you were sharing in there. Having a weekly consistent content push gives your viewers an expectation of you, of saying, look, there's more value coming. I'm waiting next week, next Monday. Now, this is something I fail at so many times. I try to be consistent on things. Like I'll have a weekly show I'll schedule. I'll even do intros where it'll be like 10 a.m. every Monday. And then Monday comes and I'm only hitting it maybe twice a month. So, man, I got to work on my consistency there, at least on my show. But, that's the fun stuff. But I like to keep them guessing. Maybe for me, it's a little different. But I can definitely see consistency. That helps growth massively. That's #1 of what I've seen. And then being unique. I mean, that's definitely a big, big characteristic. You got to be top of mind awareness. And if you're not memorable, it's kind of like this concept I share a lot of brands that promote themselves using what everybody else does. You've got their social media, they've got their website, and they've got their email list, right? That's like walking around in a brown paper bag. like a brown paper lunch bag, just a big giant one. It's covering your whole body. You look like everybody else. There's nothing unique. There's no branding behind it. But the things that I do, right? I ended up creating my own platform, Manifestation School of Business. It's kind of like my own social media where it's all my own ecosystem, my own community. And now that's put me in that blue Tiffany box versus the brown paper bag. Separate yourself. And now everyone that sees it, they're like, whoa, that's different. That's unique. I'm going to remember that. Right. And so that memorable thing definitely stands out. I mean, I got my own taglines, too blessed to be stressed, serve your way to success. And they stand out. People, it was funny. I get people like Joel Osteen. Okay. I've been just using this tagline for just a couple years. And Joel Osteen, right, major influencer in the faith community, post a meme with that tagline, too blessed to be stressed. And I'm getting tagged left and right. Like, look, Manny, Joey's using your hashtag, using your tagline. It's powerful to get people to remember and, you know, to have that top of mind awareness on something that's a positive influence is powerful. I love it. What else can you share with my audience?
Yeah, so there's many other techniques. For example, maybe instead of having that consistency, you may have giveaways or competitions, or maybe even for every 5 events they attend, they might get a 30-minute consultation call with you, just things that they look forward to. And one thing that I'm currently incorporating into the way that I do my social media is by having other influencers on there, because then you're reaching out to a wider market, and that way you're able to increase your audience. And it's just many simple but effective techniques that can help to scale your business, really.
Nice. So gamification, right? That's that rewarding them for participating in your community, and then bringing them down to influencer marketing, right? We say it all the time, guys. Find people who are already influential to the market you want to reach. Collaborate with them. One of the best ways to do that, and I actually released this on the blueprint, I actually did live. I have a little PDF version I printed out. But one of the things I mentioned in it is literally plugging into people who are already influential. Create your own show. Create your own show and ask them to be on it. Hey, I'll interview on my show. I mean, that's how I got Trey Sean on my show. I'm like, dude, this kid's on fire. Let's get him on my show. And now I get to learn more about him. I got a platform for him to get more eyeballs on what he does. And it creates a great win-win. You build more law of reciprocity and you serve your way to success. It's a great, great insight. Man, you are just a wealth of knowledge at such a young age. How much does mentorship and entrepreneurship play into all of this whole scenario of what you do?
So personally, I believe that mentors and coaches are just really important along these journey, because if you go to someone and you might ask them how to get something done, if they haven't already accomplished that, you're kind of thinking, how can you be of service to me? So it's about being someone who's already been there, done that, so that they know the challenges that you may face, and that way they're able to guide you along the path. And it's just about having people in different areas of your life. For example, I have mentors in trading, in maths, in so many other things, so that I'm constantly able to better myself. And it's about keeping that open mindset, so that no matter what stage you're at in life, you're always open to learning. And another key thing that I was fortunate to have been taught at a young age was emotional intelligence, because it plays a huge factor in just the decisions that we make in everyday life. And it's something that I learned not only from my family, but it's also been repeated in many other areas, such as trading, family members, and things like that. Because for those of you who don't know, fear and greed are one of the top 2 emotions that come in when it comes to trading. Because when you're scared when it comes to trading, you can make irrational decisions. You'll be selling and buying at the complete opposite times. And greed is when you're not able to pull out at the right time of thinking, oh my gosh, I've made this, it can go even further, it can go even that, and you're missing the actual indications that is going to plummet. And because of that greed mindset, you're there thinking, oh, it's never going to go down, and things like that. And it's just being open-minded to things, that everything goes up and down, and it's about being prepared for what happens when it goes either way.
Nice. So, I mean, I like how you use an analogy on trading to get people to understand that concept of fear and greed. Now, for the people that don't understand what it means on trading, it's a process of being able to bet when, stocks go up and down, right? Or values of currencies go up and down. You could do Forex trading. You could do stock trading. There's all kinds of different trading you can do. Now, I am no expert. I'm no specialist. I am not licensed in any of these arenas. So I'm not giving any trading advice, just kind of giving you the insights. You can Google it and figure out all the insights there. But it's a great analogy to understand, because in the process of trading, the idea is you buy in at a certain amount and you've got to sell at a certain amount, and it's a quick amount of time, or it could be a long-term trend. Most people are doing that quick version, that Forex trading and stuff like that is kind of based around of just betting that, hey, by 3 p.m. at this time, we want to see the stock and be at this number, and if it's not, we're going to sell or whatever. So it's an interesting model, but definitely fear and greed plays right into that. I mean, having, fear to really think of something that has not happened yet. And it's funny because I think it was Sharon Lecter on my last interview where I'd asked her, or somebody had asked her something about the word worry. And she goes, well, worry is basically praying for what you don't want, right? And fear is in the same sense of that. It's literally creating mentally what you don't want, instead of really focusing on that positive mindset. It's a lot of what Too Blessed to Be Stressed is based on, is finding that silver lining in everything that you have, that you're going through, that there is a positive on the other side, right? We're in quarantine. We're all stuck at home. Yeah, well, I got grandma here for 2 weeks cooking home-cooked meals, man. I'm having a blast. So at the end of the day, there's just a way we got to look at life and what we do. So what is a focus for you this year? I mean, what are some of the aspirations you're going after? I mean, you've got a huge accomplishment list already, but you're only 15. I know you are just getting started. What's next?
So there's so many upcoming things. For those of you who don't know, there's something that I created with Philip Chan, and it's called 10 Seconds of Genius. And we have a maths workbook coming, and we are going to be delivering coaching sessions to make maths simple and effective, because we believe that it's about working smart and not hard. So that way we are able to provide these simple and ancient techniques that help you to solve complex equations in under 10 seconds. And that's just one of the things that we have upcoming. There's so many more things. I'm going to be interviewing people on my show, which is called The Influencer Show. And there's a host of things that I have upcoming, really. Yeah.
Wow. So you're really, you've got your hands on a lot of different cookie jars here. A lot of it ties into education. I mean, think about that, guys. How to solve complex math equations in 10 seconds. Wow, that's powerful stuff. And if you understand math, that is the basics of the universe. Everything revolves around math. So understanding the power of how that all works together from a superstar kid like this, I think that could be very interesting. So looking at what these students need to know, let's say you're talking to a kid day one, right? They're like, you know what, Trayshawn, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what the word mentor really means, but I want to build my own dream. I'm tired of waiting for permission to build someone else's dream. What's the first step?
So it's about, first of all, because we're in lockdown, that's an amazing period to start your business, because there's no other distractions. You're at home by yourself. So that way you're able to, first of all, come up with the people who you need to connect with. You're able to come up with your strategy. You're able to come up with the market research and many other things, just to know what to do and how to do it. And for example, let's say that you get lost or sidetracked along the way, you could then have an accountability partner, and that's where a coach or mentor might come in. But for example, at this stage, you might not have the money to get a coach or mentor. You might just have a good friend that can maybe have a call with you every week, just to see what you had done in that week and how you can make the next week even more productive. Because in life, really, we tend to go against things to please ourselves, when really we need to learn to go along with the process, because whatever we resist will only persist. So it's about learning to accept the things you cannot change, and having the courage to know, and the wisdom to know the things that you cannot and can change. So that way you're able to not only connect with the right people, but you also have that strategy as to what you need to have done and by when.
I love it. I like when you mentioned whatever you resist will only persist. I like that one. That was really good. So, man, you've got a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure a lot of the, not just the day one entrepreneurs, but the manifestation group, they're going to love what they're hearing here. So how do people stay connected with you? If some of my event producers want to get you on their stages, maybe some of them want to, introduce you to their communities, how and what is the best way to connect with you?
So I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So for LinkedIn and Facebook, it's just my name, Treshawn Salmi. And then for Instagram, it's author Treshawn Salmi. And I'll let you guys into a little secret. So the reason why my name on Instagram is author Treshawn Salmi is so that, let's say that people are looking for authors to speak at their next event. As soon as they type in author, I pop up. And it's about having them unique things so that you're consistent across all different forms of social media, because there's been times when people might be on their Instagram, they're all about all peace and love. And on their LinkedIn, it's a whole nother side to them. It's about being consistent and congruent across all different streams.
Wow, that's good stuff, brother. Wow. So, man, just that little hack right there, guys, just putting a little keyword in front of your username makes you found that much easier. Man, this is awesome. We got to do a little session on this where we can bring you into like a little master class on some of this stuff. I really like this because this intro right here is just kind of be an intro. Let people know who you are, what you got going on, and how they can stay connected. But man, I think Manifestation needs a class from Treshawn. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. I want to know. And what was your favorite takeaway from today's episode? Put that in the comments as well. We'll see you guys on their next episode. Treshawn, is there any last words you want to leave for our audience?
So I'd like to leave you guys with this one quote, and it goes like this: either you run the day or the day runs you. Thank you so much.
Man, I love that. Thank you very much.
You're watching Best in Business with Manny Lopez, where passion becomes success.